Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Dana and today I have for you this cake in layers with vanilla filling. First I'm gonna start with ingredients for a dough for 2 baked sheets. You're gonna find all ingredients in the description box in grams and cups and tablespoons and everything. So I'm gonna tell you just that we need flour, sunflower oil or canola oil, eggs, vanilla sugar or vanilla extract if you don't have these, milk, baking powder, baking soda, and of course some sugar, about 100 grams or half a cup. Okay, I'm gonna put the eggs in a bowl. I'm gonna make this dough by hand using just a whisk. I'm not gonna use the mixer for this because it's pretty easy to prepare. So just crack your eggs in that mixing bowl and mix them up. Add sugar, and one by one we're gonna add all ingredients. Vanilla sugar as well. I'm gonna add of course oil, and I'm using sunflower oil, but you can use canola is perfect, or vegetable oil. Incorporate all of those, add milk. So these were pretty much all the liquids. Now baking powder, baking soda, and all is left is flour. Add gradually the flour. This dough will need to be pretty thick because we will have to stretch it out with the rolling pin. So take your time, add all the flour, and we're gonna have to knead a bit the dough to make sure that all the flour is well and nice incorporated. Split the dough in two parts, and I cut here 2 papers, and I'm gonna stretch the dough with the rolling pin exactly on the size of that paper, and also preheat the oven at 180 Celsius or 350 Fahrenheit because we're gonna bake this in the oven. Powder the dough a bit with flour if it's too sticky, and stretch it in a thin layer with the rolling pin. Prick it with a fork because in the oven it might lift and change the shape. This way you make sure that stays nice and flat, and bake it on your oven tray. I turned mine upside down because it's nice and flat like that, and I will bake it for 7 minutes. In the meantime, I'll do the same with the other piece of dough, and after baking, let them cool down completely. Prick the second one with a fork and bake it exactly for 7 minutes, and let the second one to cool down. While these are cooling down, we're gonna make a sponge with cocoa powder and walnuts. And for this one, I'm gonna tell you the ingredients, and also you can find the quantities underneath. Eggs, sugar, vanilla sugar, some cornstarch, flour of course, a bit of sunflower oil, cocoa powder, a handful of walnuts, some milk if your dough is too thick, and a pinch of salt. Mix flour and cocoa powder together with a pinch of salt. put the walnuts in the food processor and add cornstarch over and grind them up like that. Pretty thin, I will say, or was the word thin? No, fine. So grind them pretty fine. In a mixing bowl, mix the eggs with sugar. Add vanilla sugar as well. Add oil and cocoa powder with flour. If the batter seems a bit too thick, you can add, of course, that milk that I've told you, about 50 milliliters, and at the end, walnuts. Pour the batter in a baking pan in a thin layer, and ideally will be to have the dimensions of the baked sheet of dough. If not, we're gonna trim all of these to fit on the same size. And I will bake this in the oven for about 15 minutes as well at 180 Celsius or 350 Fahrenheit. And after baking, we're gonna let it cool down. Now let's make the vanilla filling, and I'm gonna need milk. Of course, we need sugar, butter for more creaminess, cornstarch, and vanilla extract, and you can find again all the quantities in the description box. I mix cornstarch with sugar to make sure that my filling is gonna be nice and creamy and smooth. Pour this mixture in a pot. Pour also cold milk over it and mix it with a whisk, and cook this on the stove on a really low fire. Continue to mix with a whisk until it's gonna be super thick. Make sure to keep an eye on it because it tends to stick and it's not gonna be nice. It's gonna be bitter and not nice. Take it off the stove and add that butter cut in smaller cubes and mix it in. It will dissolve, it will melt because the filling is hot, and add vanilla, and you should let it cool down. Now let's assemble the cake. So I took one of those sheets that I baked, and I will add over half of the filling of vanilla filling, spread it nicely in a thin layer, add over it the cocoa sponge, and press a bit with your fingers. Add the rest of the vanilla filling over, and we finish the cake with another baked sheet dough. And you have to let the cake in the fridge until the next day. Cover it with a baking paper, and you can add like a bag of sugar or something heavy like a chopping board, so the cake to be nice and sturdy in the fridge. And the second day all these will be nice, and you can slice it down in cubes or bars depending what you like. You can powder it with sugar, or you can glaze it a bit with some melted chocolate. It's up to you. I chose some chocolate, so I melted and put it in a piping bag and just decorate my cakes. It's a delicious cake, and I hope you're gonna try it. I will see you here next time with another recipe. In the meantime, you can check all the other recipes. You can also make suggestions in the comments bar, and don't forget to subscribe, like the recipes or all the videos that I'm posting here. Join all the social media on Facebook, on Instagram, you can find me there, and also on Twitch. Have an awesome day, find reasons to smile, and I'm gonna see you here next time with another recipe. Bye bye.